Good afternoon, everyone. So today we're going to present the assignment number 2 from Data Mining and Machine Learning course. So as you can see, I've done my assignment on Google Colab. Here are some necessary lines to download the files. So the movies data, the ratings data, the user data. Now with those line of codes, movies.head, you can see a bit of the data in a table, which is easier to understand. Then all of this is more about cleaning the data and transforming the timestamp to date time actually, so we don't have to see those numbers in the ratings table, but we can see proper dates that the human kind understands better. Then here the question that we had to answer for the quiz. So how many movies, how many users, how many ratings? So I use a group by user id.count to have the answer. Here it is. I put a lot of comments on my blog of codes to try things and to try to understand. As you can see, I have a lot of Google pages open too, because I had to Google a lot of things because I didn't know how to do it. But hopefully it's kind of correct. So the ratings, the distribution of ratings, can you find the median and the mode values? So I counted the ratings, then I plotted in a bar chart, and this is the result. So you can see that the mode is 4, which was one of the questions asked for the quiz. Then the average rating, this was a bit tricky because average rating across all users, so I guess it was for everyone the average. So I found it 3.58. Then the other question was per user. So this was a bit tricky. So I built a table by grouping by users' IDs. So I found that user ID number 1 has a rating of 4.18. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to remove this column because it's having nonsense, but it doesn't matter. Which is really important is the user ID column and rating. Then for questions 7 and 8, 9, the question, so we had first to merge the data frame. So I merged the data frame movies and ratings together on movie IDs. Then one of the questions was to find out which was the most watched movies. So I found that American Beauty was the one, which is actually pretty funny. Then here was a question, movies with best average ratings. So I found this as a result, but I thought it's pretty weird because Ulysses is one of the best movie with the ratings, but it has only 1 rating, so it doesn't really say something about the movie. But the other table, which I found, is here. So we have again American Beauty, and we can see that the rating size, so the number of people that rated actually the thing, was 3,428, and the mean was 4.31. So this has more sense. And yeah, and then we had another question in the most popular genders. So I found that comedy, the movies that are comedy, have a rating size greater than the one from drama, but actually the gender drama has more movies. so we have more movies that are considered as drama than comedy. But people might watch more comedies. Then this was more about visual data analysis. So here we had a question about distribution of ratings per movie. I first understood the question, so I could see a movie and then the rating from 1 to 3, 4, 5, and the actual size of a rating. But I thought this was pretty difficult to have a histogram on it. So I have a second interpretation of the question, and this was just about the title and the number of ratings. So then the histogram is like this. And after it, we had another question about how many movies are released per year. So this was my new data frame, and I had some troubles to plot a histogram, because as you can see, I have a years here, which is true, but a number of movies which is always equal to 1, which is actually not true, because here we can see on this table that, for example, if I move this, so I don't have only the 5 first values, and I put run, I can see, for example, that in 1999, 86,000 movies were released. So this is not correct, because here we have always 1. But I've tried something else with this line of code, which end up giving me this. So I could see that this is actually the biggest line, and this is 1999. Yeah, and then question 12 was about the distribution of jobs for users. So here I didn't figure out how to do a factor plot, because I tried all of those. I tried this too, but it didn't work. So my last solution was to plot a bar chart, as always. So I received this as a result, and I could see that the college grad students was the highest occupation of most users. Then I tried to do a box plot. This is my line of code. It looks a bit strange actually, but I think it's because my stats movie data frame wasn't that good, and it shouldn't be like this normally, I think. Then I tried to do a violin plot. So this is the line of code. As you can see, it has a weird shape. Then question 14 actually. So we had to do a joint plot, and so this is my result. Here are the mean, and here is the size. So the mean could only be between 1 and 5, which is true, and the size depends on the number of ratings. Then the question 15, as you can see, so here we have a tree map with all the genders, and that's it. So enjoy. See you soon for the next episode.